Hello and welcome to episode 54 of the Movie Bros podcast. We are your hosts, as always, Duncan and Hayden. Hello, I'm Duncan.
And I'm Hayden. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone.
If you're new, this is, the weekly podcast, or at least semi-weekly, as much as we try to be, without hiccups and things like that, of two brothers pick a movie, watch that movie, discuss, ramble, banter, argue, all the things you can think of. And we cover everything from every genre you can possibly think of. And as we have been doing this for over a year now, I'd say take a look back if you're curious on other movies that we've covered. If you're curious, we are available on Spotify. You can also listen to us via YouTube if that's how you do your life. If you're weird, and you can also reach out via Instagram at @themovie_bros. But that's. I don't think we need to say anything more than those buzzwordy things. Hayden, what did we literally just watch?
Well, this is one of our episodes where we decide to go out in public, brave the air, and see something in theaters in person. So we just left the theater from seeing F1, the Brad Pitt 2.5 hour long commercial for the racing brand.
We'll talk about yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then some quick information before we get there. This is written and directed by Joseph Kosinski. I don't want to speak for Duncan, but he's one of our favorite directors. We've talked about him a couple times in other films such as Tron Legacy, Oblivion, and also recently Top Gun Maverick, although that's not an actual episode of ours yet, but maybe someday. This stars Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Javier Bardem, Carrie Condon, Tobias Menzies. No. Tobias Menzies and Sarah Niles. Cinematography here is by Claudio Miranda with music by Hans Zimmer. Duncan, where would you like to start? What did you think? Because this is the second time you've seen it, but only the first time I've watched it.
Mm-hmm. I will say, after a second watch, some things worked better for me and some things actually got worse. Like, I noticed more things that didn't work for me, at least.
Okay.
But I would say context. I mean, I've seen all the Netflix stuff for Formula One. I've watched a good amount of races. I've seen highlights. I know, generally speaking, what's going on.
And I would say for context, I have not. So It is a bit of a contrast here, whereas, we're watching something that is definitely for a specific audience, and I am not really a part of it.
And I think it did I would say, good enough job for, if someone came into this, like you who had known nothing about racing.
Well, I know fast car, you want to go faster than the other person, that's racing.
More or less, yes. But I think it was palatable enough to where it's understandable. And yes, maybe all the little intricate things you may or may not pick up on, but I think, especially like you said, a commercial basically for Formula One, I think it very much accomplishes that.
Yeah, and so do we want to do ratings or do we want to do that at the end? Because
I don't know.
I'm not sure if I actually have a solid rating at it. It's literally only been like an hour.
Then we don't have to. I mean,
well, no.
Especially now that I've seen it twice, I would probably put this at like a 4.
Okay.
Because there was a lot that I liked, and especially the second time, I was like, okay, I think I was too harsh on the music, because actually I'm hearing more and more of the actual soundtrack by Hans Zimmer, which the first time around, for some reason, I only kept hearing all the shitty pop songs.
Yeah, we'll get to me in a second.
For sure. The racing stuff is great, especially, I feel like, again, this is both a pro and a con. I feel like the first half of the movie, the racing was really good. Like that first scene with Led Zeppelin playing when
they're starting the Daytona bit, yes.
Yeah,
that's in every single one of the commercials.
Yes, but even I don't know, the first bit when he's racing, I don't know, and yeah, just picking up on more of that kind of stuff. I will say I was talking with the other people that we went with, and I feel like we probably could have cut out some. I feel like they didn't really need to have the love interest. Like, I'm glad that, like, there could be some, like, charged conversation, but, like, I think they just wasted time with that when they didn't need to really.
To be fair, it is the literal only character growth in the entire movie. So,
To a certain degree, yeah. I mean, they work together in the end, come on.
and no one saw it coming.
That is the trade-off to where something that I saw more like this movie is very it's very safe, I felt like. They were like, you kinda know exactly not exactly what's gonna happen, but, like,
More or less.
yeah, it's like you even leaned
Maybe
over,
not
like,
like
it is a
specific details, but broad strokes. This is
mhm.
a tried and true sports movie.
Which I think it's I'm fine with that, I'll be honest. Again, that's why, like, if it was anything special, yeah, I'd give it a higher rating, but, like, it's getting the higher rating because the cinematography, so even some of the, I don't know the right starts with a C on, like, how they, is it color grading? Some I don't know the right wording, but, like,
We'll
very a
describe
couple of
it.
shots of, just, like, how I don't I wanna say how things look, but and it's not the framing, it's the
Color grading?
maybe it's the color grading, I don't know. This,
Okay.
I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Like, I can envision in my head the scene of him and, Javier Bardem sitting on the couch before, like, the first race where they're both clearly nervous, but not actually nervous, or at
Oh,
least
the
saying that they're
blocking?
nervous. I don't know if it was the blocking. I don't know. Just I think the movie looked good, and to know that I mean, all the cool camera stuff they built specifically for this
Mhm.
movie and these cars,
For sure.
and a lot of the stuff, Hayden, that I don't think you'll pick up on is a lot of the, like, incidents that happened did have actually like, the guy who basically the car exploded, and you're like, "Oh, what it's not made out of, like, a bomb." That
Well, I
literally happened. Like, that exact like, someone like, the whole hand burned and, like, that is
well,
word for
okay,
word has happened.
burning
Like, had
hands,
to
that makes
pull him
sense.
no, but,
And
like,
I don't
literally
wanna,
had to
like,
pull
jump
him out of a
ahead,
flaming car.
but it reminded me of Cloverfield where the statue of literally, like, explodes. I'm like,
I
were
mean,
we
that
storing
literally
our
has
dynamite in the Statue of Liberty? Like, is his car, like, just stacked with, gunpowder? What happened?
well, Hayden, what do you think that fuel is? They're
Yes,
pretty much using jet fuel.
I'm aware they're using jet fuel. I just I
I
so
but
I guess I'll go into my rating then.
sure.
I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I think this is a solid
Yeah,
3.5 out of 5 for me.
I get that 100%.
And I think a lot of that is that this movie is not for me in the same way it is perhaps
Sure.
for you. And
Oh, yeah.
when we were walking out of the theater, I mentioned, "Oh, this reminds me of Deadpool and Wolverine." And you looked confused, so I think I'll explain what I meant by that is that
It's for the fans.
that is a like a love letter to the fans in the same way that I feel like this was, because there were so many times where random people would walk on screen and they were
Oh,
clearly like
sure.
real people. I'm like,
Yes.
I don't know who this is. I know they're important, but I'm sorry, I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I
So
get that. That's
I
it.
think there were lots of things that were good. There was a lot of things that seemed to actively work against some of the goals. I think the sound design at times is really amazing, especially when you're in the cockpit.
Mhm.
Cockpit, is it that's the right
Oh,
term?
yeah, cockpit.
Cockpit, and you've got
Driver's seat.
the dr- you're in the driver's seat and you got the engine roaring. I'm glad we saw this in IMAX, and it's
I agree.
you got all this whooshing air, and you're like, that sounds really cool. I love the Hans Zimmer music in this. I It got on my nerves how loud they pumped up the announcer's voice in every single race. I'm aware from like a narrative standpoint and like a real racing standpoint, you would
Yeah,
need that.
that is how the real races are.
Like, I
But
get it, but just
yes,
like it drowned out everything. Like, I couldn't
it
hear the
did.
music, I couldn't hear the cars. I'm like, Jesus, guys, was your only directive here to be as loud as possible with that? So that kind of irked me. Um, but on the other hand, again, I think as you mentioned as well, cinematography is amazing.
Mhm.
Although it did kind of like the shock and awe of seeing how good it was at the beginning does
Wore
kind of
off.
wear off.
I was that's why I say again, I feel like the first like half of the movie where like it's still new and amazing, all the car
Mhm.
stuff, and then by the end
Like
you're like, okay, it's cool, but it doesn't have
like
the same.
I'm used to it then, like
Uh
I'm
huh.
not, they're still whipping around the camera and you're on the front of the cars. Like it's still cool, but you're now used to it. It's no longer as interesting. Still impressive, but and obviously I'm no cinematographer. I wouldn't know how to fix this problem, but they needed to find a way to keep it more fresh and interesting the whole way through. I think the actors do fine. They are not given a ton to, work with
Sure.
from
Ooh,
an
before I forget,
emotionally like reactive standpoint, but they're
the
fine.
the scene where like Brad Pitt is supposed to be giving this emotional like vulnerability about his like past to
Oh, where
carry
he's on
condom.
like, yeah, stop saying condom. I know you're doing it just to piss me off.
uh,
Condon.
I don't know if like it's just bad lighting, but he looks terrible in that. Like that,
I
his face looks fucking awful, dude.
well, on the one hand, I'm glad he's playing his age. On the
Well,
other,
that thing is, he's not.
well, kind of.
Well, so he's 61. I think in the movie he's supposed to be playing like 50 because
Sure.
30 years ago from there when he was in F1, I bet he was supposed to
Oh,
be in his 20s. So I think he's supposed to
sure.
be playing 50. And just for context, this is my soapbox real quick, but
Go right
uh
ahead.
50 is insane to be racing. Like that is so god like there's no way that would like even the like so there's a guy racing in Formula 1 right now who I think he's like 43 and that is even that is like insane that he is still racing. So the fact that they would bring this old motherfucker out of like cobwebs, yeah, everyone's like, yeah, why would you like Javier Bardem? Why would you do this? This is fuck. Yeah, they're in their right mind because that's fucking bonkers. Okay,
Again,
I'm done.
I'm not I'm not in the know of the sport, so I'll have to defer to your knowledge there.
So like the guy who when he was doing the press conference, like came up behind him in the green and gave him like a fist bump. I don't know if you remember.
I don't remember.
That was that's the old driver who again who has been around
Okay.
for like fucking ridiculous long time.
Well,
Either
it's
way.
just like, at the very end when Shocker they win the final race, some guy comes up and starts talking to
Oh, Toto.
Damien Idris, and I'm like, I can tell you're not an actor. I know you're a real driver. I don't know who you are.
He's the boss at Mercedes.
Sure. I don't
Well, like okay.
I mean, I'm sure you're right. Just like see that's just kind of the way like yes, this movie is definitely made for fans and
Sure.
I felt a little confused.
But I do think it's like it's still a fun enough movie to where again if you don't know all these little ins and outs, you can still have an enjoyable time seeing it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had
Like
a great time.
our parents saw it, and like our dad knows some of it because he's seen some of like the Netflix stuff with me, but our mom has seen fucking none of that shit. And I don't think it's up her alley at all. But even afterwards, she was like, "Oh yeah, that was lots of fun." So I don't know. I as a for lack of a better word, even if you just said this was like, "Hey, we're trying to get more people interested in Formula One," I think it
Sure.
was well done. And so
I
the
think outside of it being a commercial though, it is really underwhelming and shallow. Like
story wise,
as
yes,
far as a character story, like it is puddle deep. There is
yes. Well, again, I think this is like
nearly every
a
single
fun.
character is the exact same person from when they started, with the exception of JP, who now likes to run in the morning and is nice to Brad Pitt. That's kind of it.
Yeah. Again, I would say this is like a fun summer blockbuster, which I think that's what it's kind of meant to be.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, I don't think it's winning any Oscars for literally
Oh,
anything.
for
Maybe cinematography, but like
I
even
mean,
that, I don't know.
cinematography. I actually spoke to you a couple times during the movie. That I like the editing in this, especially during some of the dialogue. With the scant few that it actually has, it's really
Hmm.
edited in a way where it's very, very snappy. It's almost kind of like a Guy Ritchie-esque thing. I mean, obviously, it's
Or
not that
is
kind
it
of like a
what's the is it Sorkin or it starts with an S?
Sorkin.
Who did like
Yes.
is it the Newsroom? Was that Sorkin?
I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. He did West Wing. He did Newsroom. He
Yeah,
did Social
that's who
Network.
I'm thinking of. That's who I'm thinking of.
So it was kind of like that, where it was cut together in this way that the scant moments when you are not on a racetrack go by very quickly, and you're
which
not
is good.
well, yes and no. So it's good because it gets you back to what you're actually there to watch. It's not good because on some level you do want more of an actual story.
Yeah, and maybe this is because I actually, again, I'm more into this, but I both get that I think it'd be hard to have them interact much more with anyone else besides their own teammate because these are like actual athletes who have like shit to do. But I kind of wanted them to like actually not just race against each other for last place, which was kind of bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But again, I'll
So
probably there's several reels that I found that I've been trying to save and not send to you yet because I didn't want to spoil anything. But there's several little things in this movie that like are for the movie, but then you realize, oh, they're almost like copy paste from real life. This is what happened, and we're just
sure.
using it for the movie. Like
Well,
when in Sonny's crash or whatever, all that like he's racing against Senna and like all these people, real people. A lot of these people have died like by crashes back when like safety was just wasn't a fucking thing. Uh, yeah, so I'll
okay.
have to see if I can find that stuff.
So again, as someone who doesn't watch the sport, after a while, as much as those like racing scenes where you flash back to Carrie Condon and her staff being like, oh, we're going to do this, that, and the other. The entire plot did revolve around his tires to the point where
Well, yeah,
nothing else gets brought up. Like, granted, I'm not expecting him to have like engine failure or something like that, but like, even for the sake of a fictional narrative, the only thing that we have to worry about as the audience is when does he get new tires? I feel like they could have done more with that.
yeah. I mean, it's the tough thing is the only way where they could make it really interesting is if they make the car more competitive. Because like yeah, when you're at the front, that's where there's a lot more like little battles around corners and stuff. But if you put it as like a last place finishing team, really in real life, the only times that they actually get lucky is when they gamble on tires and things like that in like shitty weather. Like what they did was accurate, where a lot of times like the underdogs again only get lucky because they decide to not switch out stuff. So while it might be boring, I mean,
Well, I mean, I don't
honestly,
know about boring, but just
this
like
real
it seemed a
races
little
can be
one
even
note.
more. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Oh, so this is essentially Top Gun Maverick with
yes,
cars.
yes,
Like, I was
yes,
thinking about it on the drive home. It's like, well, it's the grizzled old cowboy veteran
yes.
comes back
Coming
to
back. Mm-hmm.
mentor a new young
Mm-hmm.
hotshot pilot or
Yes,
driver.
yes.
He wins in the end and drives off into the sunset, sort of.
Mm-hmm. More or
Like,
less.
Joseph Kosinski, for better or worse, has kind of remade the same movie.
Hey, I mean, I think the first one did well enough to where he's like, well, it's a good formula.
A
Yeah, I didn't do that on purpose, but
Trust me, I've seen several views now because I have IMBD open in the side for Fast Film Facts where they were saying Formula One formulaic. So trust me, the joke has been made.
it was nice to see Shay, whatever his name is,
Shea
from Mission
Wiggum show for
Impossible.
all of a
Yeah,
couple
Shay
of
Wiggum.
seconds. Yeah,
I
he
mean,
looks like
I
he
keep seeing
gained
him
some weight.
randomly in movies. He does not look great in this.
Well, I mean, it's
Granted, he's
probably
like a
for a
pit
role.
boss for like
Yeah,
10 minutes. Yeah.
I did think it was weird. Speaking of pit crew people, I
Uh
did
huh.
think it was weird. We spent so much time on that one blonde pit crew girl. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I didn't dislike it, but it seemed to slow things down
see.
needlessly.
I would rather have
I would rather have
that
more
amount
of
of that
them getting to know each other
and
and
less.
less pointless romance.
Yes, that was my. I was like, I'm fine with having that. Just get rid of a little of romance. But
Which
I think it was cool that they
and
showed
I like
like.
Carrie Condon, but I just
Oh, I do
that
too.
seemed weird and out of place.
Yeah, and like realistically, there's no way that like the only female like technical director in the history of Formula One with like would gamble by having an affair with the driver. No, she just wouldn't fucking do that, dude. That shit's
No,
crazy.
no. Even if
And
that
then the
driver was Brad Pitt.
sure, And this is such a weird small thing, but both of them, Brad Pitt and Carrie Condon, both of them,
Brother.
I know I'm doing it on purpose now, but uh, when they would look, I don't know if they were like doing some weird mirroring shit, but like they were both when they smiled at each other, they would do this weird lip thing, like a lip curl, like a little snarl smile thing. Both of them did it to each
Oh, see,
other.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, it's one of those. Once I saw it, I couldn't fucking not see it all the time. It's driving me crazy.
Maybe this is just a me thing because I don't, watch Formula One or anything. But like, I don't know. I think the cars could have been more fun looking paint wise. They're all just black and gray.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
well,
give them some bright colors. I don't know. Make them look fun.
so there are like they're called the liveries. Liveries is like the paint job, basically. So there are like the team liveries that I mean, like Apex was black and gold. Red Bull is like the racing bull. Like they are the Mercedes is all black. Ferrari's all red. Those are like the standard. They're gonna have that on every race, and then every couple races, like if it's like some special, like oh, it's the 50th anniversary of like Japan being a racetrack or something, they'll throw on like special colors or something like that. But
I
um,
guess.
the keep in mind, and is going to sound ridiculous, but weight can make a huge difference for these cars. So even like
Oh, I bet.
so a lot of times they will try to get away with putting as little paint as possible because again, those grams can make a difference. So a lot of these cars are almost they show as much carbon fiber as they can while still
Sure.
trying to look cool and like representing of the sponsors that sponsor the car. But uh, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, that's what these cars are. Yes,
I did have the thought of, obviously people in actual Formula One are covered in sponsor logos, but I'm like,
yes,
is this like obvious on the nose? Like, did they actually sponsor the movie this way, or is this just
yes, they
done for
did.
authenticity? Because it's like every single time Brad Pitt is on screen in his jumpsuit outfit,
Jumpsuit.
racing onesie, um, it's just like covered head to toe in like
Yes,
logos, which
no, and they actually did pay for them, and that's how this. I actually read an interesting thing today where the movie actually made money before it was even released because from all the sponsorships in the movie.
that makes sense.
So I think it was like 30 or $40 million was already like in the bank as quote unquote like income for the movie just from all this like Expensify, which was the big main one.
That seemed made
Uh,
up to me. That seems like a made up name.
nope, that's a real thing.
Like that sounds like a company I would make up if I was like looking to scam someone.
No, and I think they paid. I thought I read something of like over 10 million just to have it on all this stuff.
See, that's actually smart as a way to put in product placement. Whereas
Yes,
I have seen some bad horror movies where they will straight up just turn the bag of Lay's or whatever it is straight to camera and like hold it there for a couple seconds. This seems a lot more natural because I would buy it as this is what it would just look like anyway.
sure, but there was also the flip side, like Heineken Zero, which is like the no alcohol Heineken. They were really drinking those a lot in this. I saw like 5 or 6 of those throughout. I'm like, all right, dude, Jesus. I wish I don't. Uh, I feel like they were trying to give Brad Pitt a certain amount of like gimmicks. I don't know if they
In what
needed
way?
the. I don't the whole playing card in his pocket, and then when he didn't have it, he was all pissed off and drove angry and crashed.
Yeah, that seemed weird.
I I don't know. I mean, I think it's fun, but I don't think it's. And his dad taught him how to play poker and was a gambling man, and he's dead at 13. I don't know.
I mean, I get it. I just don't know if it was expanded enough to where it ever felt like it needed to be there. Like him flipping the cards around the room to show he's
Sure.
nervous for a race.
Yes. No.
Sure,
Yeah. I'm
I
fine with
got
that.
it. Him like having a meltdown mid race because he forgot his magic
Hmm.
playing cards seemed a
Well,
little contrived to me.
it was that combination of and their plans got leaked for the side pod or like their upgrade. So I think it was that
Yes.
plus that because he was already mad. But
It was interesting. The guy who plays the financier, the guy who I guess he doesn't
yes, the
own the
investor.
team, but like
Yes.
he pays for it.
Yes.
Was in my terror show as one of the ship captains,
Huh. See, I
essentially
thought
playing kind of the same
the
Weasley
same
guy.
thing. I thought he looked just like Lance Armstrong, like the
Very much in the
Tour de
face.
France. Yeah, in the face
Yes.
for sure.
Could have easily played Snape in an alternate universe.
Yeah, yeah. I liked Javier Bardem.
I mean, Javier Bardem is just great in everything. He's kind of like a Brad Pitt. He's very likable. He's always good.
Hmm. There's I'll have to find it and send it to you, but there's like like a meme of like F1 movie Brad Pitt. Let me literally destroy all of your cars, and then it's
I did
Javier
have that
Bardem, Lissam
thought.
Gal Gaib.
I did have that thought where it's like, okay, he's destroying cars left and right. He's destroying tracks. Like, is that
No, that's not real.
realistic?
That's not
Like,
realistic.
that would
No,
be like
not at all.
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well,
Probably
not
on the
hundreds of
low
millions, but
side.
like not hundreds of million. I mean, again, it would not be cheap. Um, but yes, the and also like like where he was like breaking off his front wing
Oh
like on
yeah.
purpose. No, that would never happen. I mean, I think it's a fun little like trick, but no, that would not.
I did really appreciate that they went around to all these actual tracks and shot.
Oh yeah, I thought it
Like,
was. I mean,
well, I mean, as someone who hasn't watched that, that really lent a lot of like real world credibility to the fact that they were actually filming with actual cars and they
hmm,
weren't doing, as much as I hate to say it, the Gran Turismo from 2 years
yes.
ago or so and just CG in the whole thing, which that still looked decent there, but you can really just feel the difference here.
Oh, for sure. And yes, I could sit here and point out, oh, and that driver was this person, and this person is this person, but like, yeah, but again, they were there on the race weekends. That those crowds are real crowds. Like, oh, that's super cool. The last race in Abu Dhabi, so Lewis Hamilton, the guy from Mercedes, who's the other African American guy. Uh,
Also,
uh,
producer on the movie.
that's what I was about to say. I was like, he's also the producer. So I thought, I'm glad that he didn't pull the whole like, oh, I'm producing this, I have to win in the end kind of vibe. I'm glad that like
I did wonder that
that was
because
not
I
something.
heard, the announcer be like, oh, Lewis Hamilton's in front. They got to pass him. Like, if I'm shelling out money to make the movie, would I have the ego to be like, I have to win?
Well, I mean, I think he's at the point where like I don't think he has literally anything to prove to anyone because he is again
Was like, I
like
mean, I don't know.
well most everyone thinks he's the goat as the kids say like he is he has the most world titles ever. He has the most like pole position, which is like who gets to start in front. He has the most like the guy's fucking great,
Okay.
and that's from like multiple like he is from every like multiple teams he's been to, and he's been like he's also not a young guy there anymore. Like
Hmm.
first race ever, won it. Like pretty fucking crazy. Either way,
Cool. Cool.
um, what else?
I will say that I didn't really love that we don't get to know any of the other drivers.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get that they probably couldn't just for like scheduling and probably
Oh yeah,
financial reasons. There's no
like
way they could probably be
logistically,
like,
it would be
yes,
impossible.
yes, and
But
there's
I guess
little
in
references, but
so in the back of my mind, even as like someone who's not big into like F1 racing, the two like standards of like good quality racing movies are Rush and Ford v Ferrari. Then they're both really really good for different reasons, but I feel like I don't know if this one lives up to either one of them because I don't get the fun back and forth as much, as you get in Ford v Ferrari with Ken Miles and
Matt Damon,
Jason Bourne. Um,
yes, or Nikki Lauda and Hunt
well,
or
that's
Chris
a
Hemsworth.
that's not so much a fun back and forth as like a really well written like rivalry. And I feel
Hmm.
like this needed like it needed a villain, and I don't know that it really has one. And sometimes the
Yeah,
villain is just the race that you're in, and that's fine. I'll accept it. But like from a character driven narrative, which this still presents itself as being, you need a bad guy. I don't
well,
know
yeah,
if
and
this
that's
has
why
one other than the investor.
well, yeah, and that's where I'm saying like the whole like it's them versus each other, which there are very famous like teammate rivalries, where again all the stuff where they take each other out accidentally, and that all stuff has happened. But I don't think it would be as interesting. Whereas it could have been, oh, we're in second place and we're trying to beat Ferrari or we're trying to beat Red Bull, and we need someone else to come in. And
Sure.
I feel like that could have been, and like the car's
Or
actually
like
competitive.
set we were just saying his name. Set Lewis Hamilton up. Like
Or
even if
Max
he's not
Verstappen.
like
Yes.
whoever it may be, but like
Yes.
set like a nebulous figure, even if we never talk to them, have them be the standard that our characters are trying to race against.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can be, oh, we're trying to beat this such and such time, and not just, oh, we're just trying to be in first, which is
Or
it's
at
still
least, yeah, we're
effective,
not
it
trying
still
to.
works.
Yeah.
But we need an obstacle character for our characters to want to overcome. I
Yeah.
kept
Again.
waiting for like um JP's like manager guy to turn out to be like pulling evil strings or something,
Eh.
because a lot of what he does seem to not benefit JP all that much. So I was kind of assuming that the movie was gonna do the also formulaic thing of, oh, my personal assistant's out to get me and wants my fame.
No, I think he was just like the in for the like media famous vibes, but doesn't really understand the whole racing
Yeah.
to race vibes, which I don't know if they could have spent maybe a slightly less time with him and it would have been fine.
Yes. So I guess my closing thoughts are that I really enjoyed it. It wasn't as like exhilarating and amazing as all the trailers, because the trailers were cut really really well. It
I
wasn't
was
as
thinking
like,
about that. I was like, dude, the trailers were fucking great.
which I mean,
That's the
you
point of the
do see
trailer.
a lot of the racing that they show in the trailers, but I this was a little bit underwhelming as far as the story goes, but it was still very exciting. So I'm okay with that. Well, do you have anything else you would like to add?
Um, I if you're listening, folks, which we know there's so many of you, uh, is especially now that I've seen this on a smaller screen and a larger screen with IMAX, it is for sure worth it to see it on the bigger screen,
Oh, a
but B
thousand
with
percent.
it is definitely worth it for the sound. Yeah,
That's
that's
kind of why
all.
I turned you down seeing it at your place, because not that there's anything wrong with your theater, but it's just like,
No, no,
if I'm
no.
gonna see
Again,
this, I'm gonna see it in like big and loud.
it was good, but it was I would say it was good, but it was better in IMAX. Does it bucket?
Oh, it absolutely buckets. You just get one of their helmets.
Which they literally made helmets for that is exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Which I would again, if they weren't insanely expensive, I would definitely buy one. I'm not joking.
Cool. But
What
okay.
we watched? Well, actually, here let's start with the trailers that we saw for this movie.
Um
Him?
it it felt weird what they were showing here, because they put out a selection of horror movie trailers, and this is not what this is.
Well, they did some horror, and then they're like, "Here's Roofman. It's fun and silly," but then also here's a horror movie. I'm like, "What are we watching? What the fuck is this?"
So okay, let's talk about Roofman. I don't trust that. I think it's going to turn sad towards the end, because Derek Cianfrance is
Yes,
known
he
for
makes sad
making
movies.
really sad shit. I mean, good stuff, but like, I do not trust that trailer. I think it's going to be emotional.
I think it'll be a good watch, but I don't think it's going to be great. But yes, I agree. I think there's going to be lots of fun bits, but then the second half to maybe like the last third of the movie is probably going to be a lot heavier.
Sure.
Um,
We saw the trailer for Conjuring Last Rites, and you looked
ugh.
genuinely like disappointed in me as a person when I told you that I own all three of the other ones and that I love that franchise. And when I told you that, you looked at me like I had just told you that I was attracted to feet or something. Like, you looked so disappointed.
Well, I think it was. I think I was in my head. I also pair. I think it's Annabelle specific movies that are also really
So,
fucking
okay,
dumb.
Annabelle is terrible, but it's like connected to it. I think like the core Conjuring movies are really really good, but they have spin-offs with questionable quality, because part of their whole thing is, oh, we have this special room where we keep all of our haunted objects, and Blumhouse being themselves being like, oh, we can churn out so many shitty spin-offs based on all these different objects. which I get it from a business point of view, but yeah, Annabelle definitely fits into that.
What else? Roofman, Annabelle, Him, which
Again, if I was like
I
into American football, I might
yeah,
be more interested in it. I'm slightly interested just because it's Jordan Peele, and even if he's only producing, he produces weird, interesting stuff. So I'll see what happens to it, but just based on my trailer, it doesn't look like it's for me.
I feel like there was something else that we saw, or at least a couple things actually, but now I can't think of it.
And that's the problem with having 30 minutes of commercials. Not everything sticks.
Yeah, again, I think it was basically like right on the money, like trailers or whatever and ads started at 6:30 and then like right at 7, that's when the movie actually started. And
Yep.
if the movie's like an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, maybe even that seemed ridiculous, but this is a 2.5 hour movie. Like, okay, am I budgeting 3 hours potentially? That's why like we got there at 6:30 and I was like, "Oh, if people running late, that's okay because 'cause we're
Yeah,
gonna be sitting there for so fucking long."
I forgot about that. Yes. Oh, we saw a trailer for Superman, but I think we'd already seen it before.
Oh, yeah, well, I hadn't seen that specific trailer, but, I mean,
It showed us more
it
flying sections, and the CG looks weird and constantly fisheye lensed.
well, again, I think it more and more solidifies the idea, at least for me, where I think Nicholas Hoult, I think, will be actually interesting as Lex Luthor. I think I like that a lot, actually,
Yeah, I mean,
but just
I'm sure he'll be fantastic.
yeah, there's so much of everything else that I just yeah, I don't know.
Let's see, what did we see anything else? I figured there were. I think there was another one, wasn't there?
I think there's another one too, but I can't think of it. Well, even if we can't think of it, Hayden, what have you watched recently since we sort of last recorded whatever, however we're framing this?
Well, I did go see 28 Days Later.
Yeah? You should know, Hayden, that I have probably no desire to actually see that, so you can
Oh, trust me,
spoiler it up if you want to.
I'm going to spoiler it up because lots of the issues I have with this come from things that would be considered spoilers.
Yeah, do
So,
it. Do
28
it.
years later, obviously, as the title implies, is a sort of sequel to 28 Days and 28 Weeks from 1996 and 2005, I think. So you've seen the trailers, Duncan, right? Based on the trailers, what do you think the vibe of the movie is?
Survival vibes?
You'd think that. So this is a really slow, kind of a plotting movie. It is
Yes.
fairly short on actual zombie violence. Like it happens, but it
Yeah, I was
is
talking to our parents today about that, and they said almost word for word the same. Like, oh, they're just hanging out in open fields a lot,
yeah.
and I'm like, all right.
So it's less about surviving against zombies and more about like family ties and
Mm-hmm.
how to handle losing loved ones and grief. And I mean, there are genuinely really well written emotional parts where I was kind of getting like almost choked up in the theater watching it. Like it's really effective in that way. But on the other hand, I'm there to see some fucking zombies. What are we doing? Like, I don't know. I mean, there's so little action sequences, and it's not even in service of like, oh, we're building tension. No, there's just fuck all happening. Um, Again, in the trailers, they show Ralph Fiennes a lot. In actuality, he's maybe there for like 15 minutes of total screen time. He does have an important role to play, but he's not really there in the movie all that much. Aaron Taylor Johnson is also only in half the movie.
Really?
There are moments where it is very tense, but a lot of it is slow, not a lot happening. Also, they weirdly try to be like weirdly like artsy, and there's like random shots of like medieval knights and like bows and arrows and random reels from World War One that don't seem to have much to do with anything. But the biggest issue is the ending. Um,
Power Rangers?
the Power Rangers. So the whole movie, whether inconsistent in like pacing, has been a very serious, very gritty tone, where at the final couple minutes, the boy's gone on his own. He's running out of his arrows. He's cornered. The infected are running towards him. And out of nowhere, these like 6 or 7 Scottish guys with dyed blonde hair wearing neon primary colored jumpsuit tracksuits with gold
Mhm,
chains
mhm.
like jump out of nowhere and save the day, and they're doing like backflips, and they're playing like upbeat metal music. It's so out of touch with the rest of the movie. Every
Did you
single person.
recognize the main guy?
Jack O'Connell.
Mhm. Yeah, okay, just didn't know if you knew who that
I
was.
I
Okay.
I, I recognize the actor, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, they just it so ruins the mood. Every single person left the theater and was like, and was like loudly talking about it in the
Like, what the
aisles.
fuck was
Like,
that?
what the fuck was that? That ruined my whole perception of the movie. Why did they do that? And I'm kind of right there with them. I would not recommend you watch it. I wouldn't even recommend you watch this on streaming. Just watch the first two. They're so much better. Rant over. Duncan, what did you watch?
Um, yeah, and as a side note, again, Hayden, you could literally just do that as a podcast. Just saying, you should just do it because you clearly have enough to say. This week I watched Safety Not Guaranteed, which
Oh,
is
that's a fun movie. It's very offbeat.
it's by the guy who did the two newer Jurassic World and Jurassic World Dominion, and then this at some point. I would not say the movie's good, but everyone in it is very much like, oh, these people should be in a movie together. Like it's Aubrey Plaza, Mark
Mm-hmm.
Duplass, Jake Johnson, the taxi driver from Deadpool. They're all like the sort of awkward.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they're meant to be in a movie. The movie's kind of not great, but um, from there I watched, or technically I've seen this at some point, but it's been so long that I haven't remember much of it. But Rollerball, which is from 1975. Do you know what this is, Hayden?
I've heard of it. Is that a James Caan movie?
James Caan. It's like dystopian future where corporations run everything, and they're basically distracting everyone by these like murderous games called Rollerball, where it's like a combination of like hockey and like uh what's the like
Quidditch?
aggr- no what's the like aggressive roller skating
Roller derby?
roller derby. It's like roller derby, but like you're gonna kill people kind of vibes. Um,
Sure.
it is very much from 1975. Jesus Christ. But like it's supposed to be this kind of dystopian future, and so many times during this, I was like, man, this seems like the perfect thing to give to Denis Villeneuve, because like if so much of this could have been like who I don't know, I could see
So
this like
just based on
being
concept, that
paired.
sounds like something I would give to Robert Rodriguez.
No, 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 trust me. If you saw the vibes, this is like Blade Runner. This is like Dune.
Okay.
If it was done correctly, I think it would actually be really good. Uh,
Well, they're doing the Running Man, and it's kind of a. I guess it's not the same thing, but it's a similar vibe of Deadly Games. So
mhm. And then I ended the week or ended the week, whatever you want to call it, last night, I think. Um, a movie called The Kill Room. This is from 2023. It's only 98 minutes.
never heard of
Uh,
it.
it's it's so if you look at the director, she has done that and a movie called Friendsgiving with a
Also,
bunch
never
of
heard of
like
it.
it looks bad, but this stars Uma Thurman, Sam Jackson, Maya Hawke, Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
Uh, like there's several like big names in this, and it's Uma Thurman is a an art gallery like manager who her gallery's like basically going down the toilet, and Joe Manganiello, or I can never say his last name right, but Deathstroke or Sofia
Sure.
Vergara's ex-husband, whatever you want to call him, uh, is a hitman who works for Sam Jackson, and they want to launder money. So they're basically using paintings that at first are just shitty random things that he makes after he murders someone. Like he's like strangles someone with a bag, And literally, he's like, okay, this bag which has some blood on it, this is now my art. They sell it to her, and then she takes a little fee, and basically they're laundering money through it. And then, of course, the art industry actually thinks it's art, and he becomes a super famous artist, and then it's him trying to quit being a hitman
Yeah,
to be.
modern art does that.
It's. I would say it's. I found it on Tubi, and I think that's exactly where it's meant to be.
Ah, the back alley of streaming services.
Dude, I've found some like quirky,
And
fun
and
things on
and
there. I'm just saying, like
well,
this,
no,
I
I
would
mean,
have never.
and I think that's not a bad thing. It's just like, it's kind of a Netflix doesn't want to be seen with us, but we'll still put it out if it's on Tubi. I think that's okay.
So I would say fun, maybe not a good movie, but definitely fun. And that's kind of everything. Oh, I finished The Acolyte. That was actually again the I think I said this last week or if maybe the week before, depending on what we saved or what didn't save on our edits. But
You
the
you 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 talked about it in Asteroid City, so
okay, the Jedi fights were fucking awesome. The rest is kind of hit or miss, but I don't know what's gonna be next. Oh, I'm watching my pottery show because that's something that I have interest
does
in.
it still
I think
have the
yes,
rat
it
minion?
does. It does. It does.
I mean, like I mean, he's doing better at life than I am, so I guess I can't really complain about it too much. But he does look a little silly. Let's see, what am I looking forward to watching? I mean, obviously we talked about some of the trailers we watched, but
I would
I
still
think
like
that
to
already kind of
see.
covers it because I think we already saw
I'd
some of
like
the
to
horror
see.
movies I was looking forward to.
I'd still like to see Phoenician Scheme.
It's
s-
already on
s-
home on like digital,
Yeah, and I looked, and it's.
which is not a good
I think.
sign.
Well, I looked at theaters, and like basically by like middle of this week, it's gonna be gone from theaters. Like by Wednesday, I think was the last shows that I could find anywhere. So, um,
That's a good sign. Inspires confidence.
well, it's been out for a little bit. It's been out at least a month, right?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I think it's been, and most movies after about a month, they usually go elsewhere. So, no, I think it's all right. And we should probably reference that next week is going to be a much more serious slog.
I don't. Okay, let's not start
Okay,
out
maybe
saying
not
it's going to
call it
be a
slog.
slog.
It's just a more of a commitment time wise because even F1 was 2.5 hours, which is a fucking long movie. The Brutalist, starring and award winning Adrian Brody. I think it's I want to say it's like 3 hours and like 20 minutes or something like that.
It's one of the first movies to have an actual intermission in decades. So
Yeah,
I'm
Jesus.
I'm looking forward to it. I've heard good things, but it might be a long sit. So, and then the other thing we should mention is that for our listeners who pay attention to what we say at the end of the episodes, yes, we said we were going to watch Ratatouille. We technically did, and then the recording/editing software we use called Riverside decided to completely eat the episode. We don't know what happened. It just disappeared.
And of course, this is after we recorded it and edited it and
Oh yeah, you were
exported it.
pissed.
I mean, I'm not super happy about it, but um, so we
We
will
will try and revisit it
most
because we do
likely
love that movie. So
re-record. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So if you notice
So
that
join
we kind of
us.
technically quote unquote missed a week, but that's okay.
That's okay. We'll make it up. This has been F1. Join us next week for The Brutalist, and that's available on HBO Max. Find us on our socials. Check our Instagram. Check our YouTube. Give us a thumbs up on Spotify, and we'll see you all next time.